Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hood 2. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we got big Major League Baseball news here, about as big as you could possibly get, and that is Pete Rose has been reinstated by Major League Baseball. The late Pete Rose, the all-time hits leader. There was a lot of pressure placed on MLB over the last 2 months, but really, essentially, Rob Manfred, the Major League Commissioner, said that since there wasn't any ruling on what happened to players after they passed, they said that this will be a lifetime ban, and that players that are eligible to get into the Hall of Fame will be able to get in and voted on after they pass away. And he said that players that have passed away do not threaten the integrity of baseball in terms of the gambling situation and whether the game is on the up and up. This also opens the door up for Shoeless Joe Jackson, as well as the other players that are on the ineligible list, and all the other 7 White Sox from 1919. There's really only 3 on this list that are of interest, and the third player is Eddie Cicotte, who was a big pitcher in that era. And really, how he was treated by the owner of the White Sox back then, Comiskey, is what set the fuse for the gambling and the sort of dishonesty of the White Sox of that era. But the big news is Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe. But Pete Rose got in because Major League Baseball had a lot of pressure placed on it by President Trump. President Trump said that he was going to pardon Rose, I guess, for what happened when his tax evasion, and he had put out a post on Truth Social saying that Major League Baseball should put him in the Hall of Fame. That should have been done a long time ago, and that it was, what he did as a manager was wrong, but the time has come to put him in. I mean, I was watching the MLB Network. They kept bringing up the fact that the daughter of Pete went to Manfred and was pressuring him, and Pete's lawyer was. But the reality is that they had a very bright spotlight placed on them by President Trump. President Trump obviously knew Pete, probably when he played a little bit, and obviously through the casinos. Because as you know, President Trump owned a big casino down in Atlantic City for a few years. I'm sure he saw Pete a lot, probably met Pete a few times, and knew him well. And, it's funny. Pete always said that he would get in the Hall of Fame once he was gone. And there was a big documentary on Pete last year that HBO did. And he even said in the documentary, he said, they'll put me in when I'm gone. But he tried to get back in so many times. But Pete was not a very trustworthy person when it came to his addiction, But this is big news, obviously, for Major League Baseball. He's not eligible for the Hall of Fame now, they said, until 2027, because he played, I guess, before 1980. And he hasn't played in such a long time now that it'll be by the Veterans Committee that'll vote on him, not the writers. So if the writers had a chance to do it, they would place him in with no problem. I think he'll get in with no problem. And I think Shoeless Joe will get in as well with no problem. I mean, Shoeless Joe, just sort of quickly, he's sort of become like a real mythical figure now through movies, with 8 Men Out and obviously Field of Dreams. He's sort of a mythical figure, even more so than Pete is, because people seen him in the movies. They kind of have an idea of what kind of player he was. But he was a .356 lifetime hitter, hit 400 one of those years. And he was the idol of Babe Ruth. And Babe Ruth said that he copied his swing based off of Shoeless Joe. Now, the greatest player in the history of the game is looking up to a player. You want to you pay attention to that. So this is big news for obviously for baseball. It's a good day, because this was a cloud that hung over baseball for many, many years, and now that's been lifted. And obviously the family of Shoeless Joe will have that lifted too, because at some point he'll get in, and we'll see on Eddie Cicotte. Eddie Cicotte is a borderline case, but let me know what you think about this video. What do you think about Pete getting in or getting off the ineligible list? And of course, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.